right, let's jump right in. You know, when we talk about building stuff in the cloud, it's really easy to get lost in all the tech jargon. But if you strip it all away, it's a lot like building a house. Seriously, you absolutely need a solid plan, a blueprint, to make sure the whole thing is strong, safe, and actually going to last. So today, that's what we're exploring, the blueprint for our digital world.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Would you really just start hammering boards together and kind of hope for the best? No way, of course not. You'd want a detailed plan guiding every single step, making sure that foundation is solid and the walls are straight, right? And that's exactly what cloud architecture is. It's the master plan for all those digital buildings we rely on every single day. You know, from our streaming services to online banking. All these services are built on a foundation of core principles, or pillars, that make sure they actually, work. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to walk through that blueprint piece by piece. We'll look at how to build services that run smoothly and securely, how to make them fast and reliable for everyone using them, and how to operate in a way that's both smart and sustainable. And then we'll see how a great architect pulls it all together into a perfectly balanced structure. Okay, let's start where any good project starts, the foundation. The first two pillars are all about the day-to-day stuff and the super critical protections that keep everything safe. This is kind of the how-to of running a service, and the what-ifs for when things inevitably go wrong.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these two ideas are framed. Operational excellence. Well, that's like having a perfect pit crew for a race car. Everything is practiced, precise, a finely tuned machine. And security? That's your fortress. It's the walls, the guards, the whole shebang that protects everything valuable inside.
So if we dive a little deeper into operational excellence, it's really all about making sure that digital factory runs without a hitch. This means doing things like automating updates to avoid simple human error, keeping a constant eye on system health to spot trouble early, and having a clear playbook for everything. But ultimately, it's about always learning and always getting better.
And when it comes to security, it's not just one thing. It's layers, a complete strategy. It starts with deciding who gets the keys to the kingdom, managing access. Then you protect the building blocks themselves with things like firewalls. You also have to lock down the data, whether it's just sitting in storage or flying across the internet. And all the while, you're constantly on the lookout for anything that looks suspicious. It's just non-negotiable.
All right, so our foundation is solid. Now we can build on it. Once a service is running smoothly and it's secure, the next huge question is, does it actually work well for the user? And that brings us to our next two pillars, which are all about that user experience. So, we've got reliability and performance efficiency. The best way to think about it is this. Reliability makes sure the lights stay on during a storm. Performance efficiency makes sure that when those lights are on, they're bright and instant, not flickering and dim.
Reliability is really all about resilience. It's like having a spare tire in your car or roadside assistance on call. You hope you never need it, but you've designed your system with a plan so that if one piece breaks, you can recover fast without a major meltdown.
And here is a perfect, everyday example you've definitely experienced. A well-architected streaming service is built to be reliable, so if one computer in some massive data center fails, another one instantly picks up the slack. And what's the result? Your movie night keeps going, completely uninterrupted. You don't even notice a tiny glitch. That's reliability. Okay, now for performance efficiency. This one's about being smart, not just powerful. It's like choosing the right-sized engine for a car, right? You don't put a giant truck engine in a tiny sports car. It's wasteful. You pick the right resources for the job, you scale them up or down as more people use your app, and you're always looking for bottlenecks to make things run faster, all without wasting energy or money.
And that idea of not being wasteful brings us perfectly to our final pair of pillars. These are all about building in a way that is both financially and environmentally responsible. Because it's not just about what you build, it's about how you build it.
So here they are: cost optimization and sustainability. You can think of them as two sides of the same coin. One is about managing your budget and getting the most bang for your buck. The other, which is a newer but super important pillar, is all about managing your carbon footprint. Now, cost optimization is not about being cheap. It's about being intelligent with your money. It means knowing exactly where every penny is going, making sure you aren't paying for more server power than you actually need, and cleaning up old, forgotten resources that are just sitting there quietly racking up your bill.
And then there's sustainability. It's so easy to forget that all this cloud stuff has a real-world physical footprint. Being efficient with your resources directly saves energy. It also means making smart choices, like picking cloud providers who are committed to renewable energy and just designing systems that don't waste digital or physical resources. So, we've laid out all 6 pillars, but here's the most important part. They don't exist in a vacuum. A truly well-architected system is a balancing act. It's about bringing all of these principles together into one cohesive whole.
This chart does a really great job of showing that balance. You can see how the pillars just naturally group together. You've got the core functions, operations, and security. Then you have the user-facing qualities, reliability, and performance. And finally, the responsible practices, cost and sustainability. Together, they form a complete holistic framework. In the real world, architects are literally using these pillars as a checklist. Before they build anything, they're asking these exact questions. This isn't something they tack on at the end. It's part of the design process from day one, making sure every single decision is weighed against these core principles.
And this right here, this is the golden rule. It is all a game of trade-offs. Think about it. A system that's incredibly secure but so slow that it's unusable, that's a failure. A system that's super cheap but crashes all the time, also a failure. The real goal is to find that sweet spot, the perfect balance across all 6 pillars that fits what you're trying to build.
So the next time you open your favorite app, think about this. Does it feel reliable? Is it fast? Do you trust it with your data? You're now equipped to see the digital world through the eyes of an architect and ask the real question. Are the services you rely on every day truly built on a solid foundation?